बोलिए श्री रज रामचंद्र भगवान की जय, सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। Jai Jai Sitaram. Cordial welcome to all of you who are joining with us here in the Mandir this evening, as well as those who are joining with us virtually online as we engage in our sixth session of our Ramayan Yagna. At this time, I'd ask that we all clasp our hands, we close our eyes, we bow our heads. We focus our minds at the feet of Maryada Purushottam, Prabhu Sriram, as we offer this very humble prarthana before we begin. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Guru Charan Kamalebhyo Namaha. Om Ramaya Ram Bhadraya Ramchandraya Vedase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namah. Nilambhuj Shamal Komalangam Sita Samarupit Vambhagam Panav Mahasayak Charu Chapam Namami Ramam Raghuvanshanatham. He Ram Purushottam Narhari Narayan Keshava Govinda Garuda Dhwaja Gunanidhe Damodar Madhava. He Krishna Kamalapati Yadupati Sitapati Shripati Vaikunta Adipati Characharapati Lakshmi Pate Pahimam. Adav Ram Tapo Vanadi Gamanam Hatva Mrigam Kanchanam Vaidehi Haranam Jatayumaranam Sugriva Sambhashanam Bali Nigrahanam Samudra Taranam Lanka Pure Dahanam Paschat Ravan Kumbhakaran Hananam Etadi Ramayanam. Shri Ramayan Sumiran. Jehi so mera se bhi ho Gananayak kari varabadana Karu anugraha so Bodhi Rashi Shubha Guna Sadana Mukha Hoi Vacha Pandu Chadhaya Gir Varagahana Jasu Kripa Sudaya Dravo Sakal Kal Maladahana Neela Saroruhasya Karuna Aruna Bharejanayana Karo Sumama Puradhan Sarakshi Rasa Gara Shayana कुन्दयेन्दु सामदेहा कुमार मन करुणायना जाहि दीन परनेहा करो कृपा दनमया बंदा गुरु पादका कृपा सिंधु रूप हरे महामोह तन पूर्ण जासु बचन रवि करा सियापति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरण। श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम। श्री राम
जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम।
बोली श्री रामचंद्र भगवान के Jai. Devotees, it's very nice to see so many of you joining with us this evening here at the Mandir. Today being, what day it is? Friday. And who do we worship specially on Friday? Devi Mata. Devi Mata. Janita. How do we say Friday? Shukravar. So on this Shukravar, this evening we offer obeisance to Devi Mata, a few lines of Shri Bhagavati Stotram. Bhagavati Devi, Devi Mata. In this stotram, when we bow our heads most humbly to Devi Mata, Jai Papa Vinashini. She's called Papa Vinashini, that one who destroys all sins, all sinful activities, past, and prevents us from committing future misdoings or wrong actions. Bahu Paladi, that she gives us the fruits of our good actions. We pray and we bow our heads most humbly to Devi Mata. Jaya Bhagavati Devi Namo Vadade. Jaya Bhagavati Devi
Namo Vadade.
Jaya Bhagavati Devi Namo Vadade.
Jaya Bhagavati Devi Namo Vadade.
Jaya Papa Vinashini Bahuphalade.
Jaya Papa Vinashini Bahuphalade.
Jaya Papa Vinashini Bahuphalade.
Jaya Papa Vinashini Bahuphalade.
Jaya Bhagavati Devi Namo Varade.
Jaya Bhagavati Devi Namo Varade.
Jai Shumha Nishumha Kapaladhare. Jai Shumha Nishumha Kapaladhare. Pranamami tu Devi Nararti Hare. Pranamami tu Devi
Nararti Hare.
Jaya Bhagavati Devi Namo Varade.
Jaya Bhagavati Devi Namo Varade.
Jai Chandra Divakar Netradhare. Jai Chandra Divakar Netradhare. Jai Pavat Bhushit Vakravare. Jai Pavat Bhushit Vakravare. Jaya Bhagavati Devi Namo Varade.
Jaya Bhagavati Devi Namo Varade.
Jai Vyadhi Vinashini Moksha Kare. Jai Vyadhi Vinashini मोक्ष करे, जय वांछित दायिनी सिद्धि वरे, जय वांछित दायिनी सिद्धि वरे, जय भगवती देवी नमो वरदे, जय
भगवती देवी नमो वरदे,
जय भगवती देवी नमो वरदे, जय भगवती देवी नमो वरदे। बोली श्री आदि शक्ति दुर्गा माता की जय। Devotees, last night we left out our katha where Sati Devi, despite the best efforts of Shiv Shankar Bhagwan, she decided to do her own thing. She decided to not listen. And Shiv Shankar Bhagwan, realizing, what is to be will be, hona wahi jo hoga. Whatever it is, will be. So powerful is the Maya, the elusive power of Mahavishnu Bhagwan. And devotees, he told her, well, since you're not listening, go ahead. Do what you have to do. So now, all weight became on her shoulders. Right? Before, there was someone else to depend on, but now she has isolated herself because she's refused to listen. She's refused to listen. I always say this to devotees, when you go to work, if the boss or your supervisor says to you, pick up this thing and put it over there. You simply listening. You're simply listening to the instruction. You follow the instruction as the supervisor gives it. Then if somebody else come and ask, hey, why is this there? No responsibility, supervisor said. It's no worries, right? No worries on you because it wasn't your decision to do it. So now, Sati Devi, totally ignoring the advice of Lord Shiva, now full responsibility of her actions now come on her. Do we understand this? Do we understand this concept? Divesh, you understand this concept? So if you listen to what Daddy tells you, then he's taking responsibility for your actions. Right? If you don't listen, you act on your own, well, you're taking your own responsibility. Right? And all of us in the same way. So, Sati Devi now, in this way, she became very anxious. What shall I do? What shall I do? Because she knows now full brunt of everything will come. So, she thought about it, she said, how am I going to test? How am I going to test this person? So she said, I'm going to assume the form of Sita Mata. He's searching for Sita Mata. I'm going to assume that form. And I'm going to go in the path that he is traveling. And let's see what happens. So she decided. And so she did. And what happens? Let us hear in Chopai. लक्ष्मण देखे लक्ष्मण देखा वो माकृत वेशा चकित भये भ्रम हृदय विशेषा श्री राम जय राम कही न सकत, कही न सकत कछु अति गंभीरा। श्री राम जय राम,
जय जय राम।
प्रभु प्रभाव, प्रभु प्रभाव, प्रभु प्रभाव जानत मति धीरा। श्री राम जय राम,
जय जय राम।
श्री राम जय राम, श्री राम जय राम, श्री राम जय राम,
श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम।
रघुपति राघव राजा राम, रघुपति राघव राजा
राम।
As Sati Devi took this form of Sita Mata and sitting on the road now, sitting on the road on the path of Prabhu Sri Ram where he's coming. First, what happened? Lakshman dekha Uma Krita Vesha. Devotees, Lakshman was the first one who saw. Lakshman ji saw this form of Sita Mata sitting on the road. Now, they're in search of Sita Mata. In search of Sita Mata, they thought, a demon, Rakshas, has abducted her. And here it is, they are seeing her on the road. So, he was very, surprised. He was very surprised. How is Sita Mata here? And a great puzzle. He was confused. He said that, he couldn't utter any words. You ever get so surprised? That became speechless. He became speechless. And devotees became very serious. Deep in thought, thinking, who is this? Who is this? Thinking of the power of Sri Ram. Thinking, is he testing me? Is this a test that Prabhu Sri Ram is giving to me at this time? Devotees, Lakshman was very confused when he saw Sita Mata sitting there. And devotees, what happened? Let us hear in Chopad. साथी कपतु जानेयु सुर स्वामी, सब दर्शी सब अंतर यामी। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। श्री राम जय राम,
जय जय राम।
सुमिरत जाहि मितय अज्ञाना। जय श्री राम, बोलो श्री राम जय राम,
जय जय राम, जय श्री राम।
सोई सर्वज्ञ राम भगवाना। श्री राम जय राम, जय जय
राम।
श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम। Sati Kapatu Janeu Suraswami Sab Darshi Sab Antaryami. Devotees, that Lord who sees all, He sees all, He perceives all, He is Antaryami, as we spoke about. Antaryami means that He knows the innermost thoughts, the innermost feelings of everyone. He knows the innermost feelings of everyone, devotees. You know, today, Pandit Ramdas Vyasji funeral was performed. And in looking at Antyeshti Sanskar funeral ceremony, it's a stark reminder to all of us. To all of us. Pandit Ramdas Vyasji, very, very great personality, very great person, who sat and performed many yagnas, read many, many times out of our scriptures, taught so many people, and today that voice is silenced. That voice is silenced. Each and every one of us devotees, we have to go through that gate or go through that door. So many wonderful things, accolades, praises were said about him at his funeral. But devotees, when we take that journey by ourselves. By ourselves. It's a stark reminder to all of us. Stark reminder that, you know, there's a book that's entitled, Who Will Cry When You Die? You ever read that book? Who Will Cry When You Die? Kabir Das Ji, you know, he has composed many great bhajans. But one of the very, very nice ones that he has composed starts with this doha, where he says, Kabira, jab hum paida hue, jag hase हम रोए ऐसी कर चलो हम हंसे जग रोए. Kabir Das Ji, very profound statement. He says, when I, Kabir, was born, so he's a sant, right? He's a saint. So he says, when I, Kabir, was born, Jag hase hum roye, that the world was laughing, the world was celebrating, the world was very joyous, but hum roye, but I was crying, the baby was crying. He says, Aisi karni kar chalo, that I should perform such activities in this world, that when I have to leave, kar chalo, you all have to go. Something is happening with this. When I have to leave this world, hum hasi, that I am smiling, and jag roi, the world is crying. This is how we should live our lives, devotees. This is how we should live our lives. In such a way that when we are gone, we will be missed. We must be such contributors, positive contributors to this world, that when that time comes, we have to close our eyes. The world will definitely miss us, devotees. He says, Chadariya, Chadariya. Where's that Chadar, Vikram? You know that chadar? Here you can sit down on one way. Sit down on the bare carpet. Chadar is a sheet. So this body is described as a sheet. Described as a sheet. And jhini re, a very flimsy one also. It's not so strong. So what Kabir Das Ji says, He Ram Naam Ras Bhini Chadariya. That the ras, the nectar of the name of Sri Ram, we should immerse this chadar, this body, in the chanting of that name, thereby receiving great benefits and rewards. Chadariya, Chadariya, Jini re Jini. Jini re Jini, Jini re Jini. He Ram Naam, He Ram Naam, He Ram Naam, He Ram Naam Ras Bhini Chadariya, Jini re Jini. अष्टकमल का शर्ख बनाया, पांच तत्व के पूर्ण चदरिया, पांच तत्व के नौ दस मास बुनन को लागे, नौ दस मास बुनन को लागे, मूरत मैली कीनी चदरिया, Jini re Jini. He Ram Naam, He Ram Naam, He Ram Naam Ras Bhini Chadariya, Jini re Jini. चार ओर शंका मत करियो, ये दो दिन तुमको देनी चदरिया, ये दो दिन तुमको। मूर्ख लोग भेद नहीं जाने, मूर्ख लोग भेद नहीं जाने, दिन दिन मैंने कीनी चदरिया, जीनी रे जीनी। हे राम नाम, हे राम नाम, हे राम नाम, हे राम नाम, हे राम नाम,
हे राम नाम, हे राम नाम,
हे राम नाम रस भीनी चदरिया, जीनी रे जी, जीनी रे जी, जीनी रे जी। बोली श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। पांच तत्व, the five elements come together to make this body. Panch tattva. Do you know that Panch tattva? What are the five elements that comprises this world? Comes together to make this world. The same five elements comes together to make this body. What are they? Dharti Mata, Dharti, earth, Agni, fire, Akash, space, Jal, water, and one more. You forget which one we didn't say? So air, fire, earth, water, and ether, space. Right? So these are the five Panch Tattva that come together that makes this body. So when we perform Antyeshti Sanskar, what happens? You see a lot of things happen in fives, right? See a lot of things happen in fives. So we are releasing, we are asking these Panch Tattva, these five elements to go back to the original state when the body is being disposed of. again to be recombined, to form another body. Now the samas bunan ko lage. 9 or 10 months it takes to come together. 9 or 10 months it takes to come together. But when people don't understand what the body is to be used for, very foolishly, we misuse it. Foolishly, we misuse the body. Is that TJ in the back? Yes. So, if, young man comes of age, I'm not picking on TJ. A young man comes of age and, he goes and he gets his license to drive, driver's license. And, father is very proud. Father is very happy. And the father will buy this child, or young man, young lady, as the case may be, a very nice car, mode of transportation, right? And let's say this young man, a young lady, takes this car and destroys it. What will the father approach will be now? Do you think he'll get another one anytime soon? TJ, what do you think? No, definitely not, right? You know your dad, right? You're not going to get another one anytime soon. So, just like that, devotees, this what we have, this human form, is the greatest vehicle that you can get. The greatest vehicle. And when we take it and misuse it, you know what Bhagavan is looking? Bhagavan is seeing, what is my child doing? I give such a beautiful vehicle, such a beautiful instrument to my child, and what is my child doing with that instrument? Think about the devotees. Think about the activities that we engage in. Is that activities that will free us from material bondage, or activities that will entrap us more to material bondage? Which one is preferable? Which one is preferable? Activities that will free us from material bondage, or activities that will trap us more into it? What do you think, Nathan? Activities that will free us from it, right? Because we would like that. We would like to be free from material bondage. But, just like everything else, there's a price to pay. Because those activities doesn't seem too attractive to the average person. The activities that free us from material bondage doesn't seem to be very attractive. It's said today, the average person, right? The average person who consumes alcohol, right? And I'm not bashing anybody, please don't get me wrong. The average person who consumes alcohol today, and you place before them a glass of milk, a glass of alcohol, which one are they more likely to go towards? The alcohol, right? Because that is more attractive, isn't it? But then we take a dog and we give the same choice to the dog. A glass of milk, a glass of alcohol. Which one the dog will choose? Milk, isn't it? Yes. So who's smarter? Who's smarter, devotees? You see, we have intelligence. As human beings, we have intelligence. We need to use it, devotees. Please. Please, those of you who are here, those of you who are listening, please use your intelligence, use your intellectual capabilities to drive you forward, not backwards. Not backwards. We all have that ability. You know, when we end up in problem, you know, many times we say, woe is me, woe is me. Why? Why have to go through this? Why have to suffer? But devotees, do we know that we are the cause? We are the cause of the suffering. So, what we have to do? Sati Devi now, sitting there. Prabhu is Antaryami, knows innermost thoughts and feelings of everyone. That Prabhu Sriram, in no time he figured out, this is not Sita. This is not Sita Mata. No, this is not Sita Mata. Says, Sumirat jahi mitai agyana, soi sarvagya Ram Bhagwana. That Prabhu Shri Ram is that same omniscient Lord, that one who sees all. And the very thought of him destroys all ignorance. The very thought of the Lord. So when you start to say Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Ram, you find yourself sinking in ignorance, devotees. Then you start to chant your mantras. You start to chant the name of the Lord. And instantly you start to get relief. Right? You don't need Tylenol, Advil, Motrin, etc. All you need is, what you need? What you need? Ram Nam. Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Jai Ram, Shri Ram,
Jai Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama, Sri Ram Jai Jai Rama, Sri Ram Jai Jai Rama,
Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama,
Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama, Sri Ram Jai Jai Rama, Sri Ram Jai Jai Rama,
Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama, Jai Ram, Shri Ram,
Jai Jai Rama, Sri Ram Jai Jai Rama, Sri Ram Jai Jai Rama,
Jai Jai Ram, Jai Shri Ram, Sita Rama, Jai Ram, Shri Ram, Jai Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama, Jai Ram, Shri Ram,
Jai Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama, Sri Ram Jai Jai Rama, Sri Ram Jai Jai Rama,
Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama. Everyone sing.
Ram Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama, Shri Ram Jai Jai Rama.
Boli Shri Ramchandra Bhagavan ki Jai. So why do I insist all the time everybody sing? Some people is probably say, Pandit, this Pandit real harassing. He real harassing. He does only, tell me to do this, tell me to do that, tell me to do the other thing. I don't know why he's so. Devotees, I am like this because I want what is best for everyone who looks to me for some form of guidance. I want the very best for all, just as I look at my 3 children, and I want the very best for them. Everyone that comes to me, whether they're elder than me, younger than me, they look to me for an advice, they look to me for some form of solace, for problem, difficulty, whatever it is. I want the very best for all of you. Each and every person. If you're happy, I'm happy. This is how it works. So, if I know something is going to help you, then it doesn't matter if I carry a little bad name. Right? It doesn't matter if you hate me for a little bit. Eventually, you'll realize. You'll realize that Pandit Vijay had my best interests at heart. Right? So we talk about Advil and so on just now. Right? So if we have a headache, devotees, and, mommy bring a glass of water and some Advil or Tylenol and put it there. Right? And we sit down and we watching it, and the headache will go, right? The headache will go, Jessel. Do we have to take it? And we have to take it, put it in our mouth, swallow it, and drink some water in order for it to help us. Yes, in the same way, devotees, this is why I encourage people to sing. Because when you use the name of Bhagwan, then it's going to help you. If we only know it will help us and we don't use it, then it's no good. It's no good. Just like the person sit down watching a tablet, watching the water, and hoping the headache will go. It wouldn't go, devotees. So, the very thought of Prabhu Sri Ram, it says that it destroys ignorance. And devotees, what happened? Let us hear. Sati कीन्ह चाहत कहु दुरावो देखहु नारी सुभाव प्रभाव जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम रघुपति राघव राजा राम भज राजा राम निज माया बल हृदय बखानी बोले बिहसी राम मृदुबानी बोलो जय राम श्री राम जय जय राम रघुपति राघव राजा राम भज राजा राम सती कीन्ह चाह तहु दुराऊ देखहु राम सुभाव देखहु नारी सुभाव प्रभाव. So, Sati Devi, at this time, she sought to practice what is called deception. She went in disguise. She went in disguise. So she was trying to deceive Sriram. She's trying to fool him. In common words. She's trying to fool him. Devotees, do we ever practice deception? You try to fool somebody? Not a good practice. Not a good practice. In Aranyakand, when Indradev went to Brihaspati, when he thought that the plan that they had come up with in order for Sri Ram to go to the forest to kill Ravan was going to be spoiled, he went to Brihaspati and said, we have to do something. We have to do something to prevent this meeting from Bharat and Sri Ram, because he thought Bharat would convince Sri Ram to go back. And Brihaspati, the guru of Indradev, he told Indradev, he said you have 1,000 eyes, but even though you have 1,000 eyes, you can't see. You can't see anything. And he told him also, practice of deception at any time is never an option. That we should never deceive others. Further on in Aranyakand, when Prabhu Shri Ram met with Shabri Mata, and he was expounding on Naudha Bhakti, Prabhu Shri Ram said that we must be straightforward in all our dealings with others. Straightforward. Don't come sideways. We don't come sideways, devotees. We be very straight with others. Be truthful, be honest with others. Because in this lies our best interests. So Sati Devi, she sought to practice this deception at this time. Even on Maryada Purushottam Prabhu Shri Ram. He says, listen, what negativity, what negative traits can cause a person to do? What negative traits can cause a person to do? Negative thoughts, negative attitudes, negative behaviors. Look what it can cause someone to do. That even practice deception on Bhagwan, practice deception on God. But she didn't recognize that he was God. She thought he was just a prince. A prince searching for his consort. See, Dad take his regular spot. So we welcome, special welcome to Pandit Harinarayan, all the way from Trinidad, passing through Texas, and making it possible, probably a short stay, but making it possible to be here with us this evening. So we do appreciate your presence this evening in our Yagna. And here it is, devotees, where Sati Devi practicing this deception because of negative thinking, negative traits, negative influence. And we ask ourselves in our lives, do we allow negative influences to control us? Do we allow them? And the more that we allow them to control us, the more we will go and do the wrong things. So we always have to be on guard. We always have to be careful of these types of traits, these types of behaviors. This is why when we celebrated Guru Purnima, we said our Guru is there. Our Guru is there to help us to cross this Bhav Sagar. To cross this Bhav Sagar. Because the Guru, devotees, brings to light that presence of Bhagwan. It's a very beautiful bhajan that explains this to us. That the priceless gift that we get from our Guru is that transport, that direction, that ability to reach to the feet of Bhagwan. Mirabai ji says, पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो, रतन धन पायो. It's a great gem, a very precious gem, that wealth of Prabhu Sri Ram, the presence of Sri Ram devotees, who gives us this most precious gift. पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो, पायो जी मैंने राम रतन
धन पायो.
वस्तु अमूलिक दिए मेरे सतगुरु, वस्तु अमूलिक दिए मेरे
सतगुरु
गिरे पाकर अपनायो,
पायो जी मैंने
गिरे पाकर अपनायो,
पायो जी मैंने
राम रतन धन पायो,
पायो जी मैंने
राम रतन
धन पायो.
जन्म जन्म की पूजे पाए, जन्म जन्म की
पूजे पाए.
जग में सभी खोवायो, जग में सभी
को वायो
खर्च न कूते, चोर न लूटे, खर्च न कूते,
छोड़न लूटे.
दिन दिन बढ़त सवायो, पायो जी मैंने दिन दिन बढ़त सवायो,
पायो जी मैंने
राम रतन धन पायो,
पायो जी मैंने
राम रतन
धन पायो.
सत के नाव के वतिया सतगुरु, सत के नाव के वतिया सतगुरु, भव सागर कर आयो,
पायो जी मैंने
भव सागर कर आयो,
पायो जी मैंने
राम रतन धन पायो,
पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो.
पायो जी मैंने राम रतन धन पायो,
पायो जी मैंने
राम रतन धन पायो,
पायो जी मैंने
राम रतन धन, राम रतन धन, राम रतन धन पायो. बोलिए श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. Devotees, our Sadguru. Our Sadguru is the one who gives us that guidance. So we spoke about earlier in our yagna, the spiritual cycle of life. Spiritual cycle of life means that we pray to Bhagwan. We offer prayer, we offer devotion to Bhagwan, and with his blessings, with his guidance, he leads us to a Satguru, a true teacher. A person who can remove darkness from our lives and put us into a state of light, put us into a state of bliss. And when we find that Guru devotees, that Guru will hold our hands and help us to cross. He will be the guide to help us to cross this Bhavasagar, this ocean of mundane existence. And devotees, Sati Devi, practicing this deception on Prabhu Sri Ram because of negative influences. And you know, negative influences are all over. Not only people in our ears. Not only people in our ears, you know. Today we have what we call smartphones. Right? Smartphones. But what is smartphones making us do? No, we don't say that. The smartphones making us slaves of them. Slaves of them. How many people, when you have the phone, right? They have the phone. How many people can see the phone resist picking it up? Let me see. Minority. Right? Let me see who messaging me. Let me see what's new. Let me see who emailed me. Let me see what's on Instagram. Let me see what's on Facebook. Let me see what's on Twitter. And we get our minds wrapped up in all of these things. Wrapped up devotees. And one of the propensities of human beings is to be curious. You know, this is how Facebook hooks you. You know that? This is how Facebook hooks you, devotees, because you're curious. When you put something on Facebook, you want to see who reacting to it. Right? So you're always going back to check. I wonder if they like my post, boy. I wonder if they like my picture, boy. You understand? This is how they hook you. The curiosity. But you know what the saying goes? Curiosity killed the. So be careful. Be careful, devotees. You have to be careful. All of these things, they have a great allure to us, a great attraction to us. But when we get involved in it, what happens? Facebook, I say, is a great time waster. Now, you can use it for good, you can use it for bad. In the case that our mandir is streaming on Facebook, this is a good use, it's a good tool for that. But when we become a slave to the tool, then what happens? We are misusing it. Or it's making, a fool out of us. So, Sati Devi, under this negative influence, she sought to deceive Prabhu Sri Ram and devotees. Nij Maya Bal Hriday Bakhani. Prabhu Sri Ram, recognizing the power of his own Maya, of his own illusion, recognizing that power of his own illusion, devotees, what happened? Bole bihasi Ram mridubani. Devotees, Prabhu Sri Ram started to speak to Sati Devi. He started to speak very sweetly, very nicely. How many times do I say this in the mandir? How we should speak to each other? How? How we should speak to each other, devotees? Right? Which is nicely, isn't it? No one likes to get yelled at. Sarah? You like to get yelled at? No. So don't yell at Yatu, right? He didn't tell me anything. No, devotees, we should always try to speak nicely to each other. Sometimes, we are in little irritable moods. Right? And that's, again, a propensity of a human being, where the mood changes. Right? What are the three gunas that control us? Three gunas? Satagun, Rajagun, Tamogun. Right? Satagun is mode of serenity, peacefulness. Rajagun is mode of being emotional, passionate. Tamogun is the mode of ignorance, laziness, indolence, all of these things. At any given point in our day, one of these gunas is controlling us. Either we being peaceful, serene, we being emotional, or being lazy and ignorant. One of them is controlling us at any given point in the day. But they all work together. You know, they all work together. They all depend on each other. Satogun depends on Rajagun, Tamogun. So even when we're peaceful, the other two are lurking. The other two are there, waiting to take hold of us when I will get control. So we have to be careful. This is why our scriptures tell us we have to rise above the gunas. We have to rise above the gunas. And the only time we can rise above the gunas is when we transcend this world. When we cross this ocean of mundane existence and we get to the other side, we cross this, we transcend this materialism. Once we are under the control of materialism, then the gunas will continue to control us. And we will know, because we will experience the symptoms of this. Because when we change from peaceful to angry, to lazy, to ignorant, back to peaceful, and we go through the cycles all the time, we know that we are still under control of the gunas. And devotees, Prabhu Sriram started to speak to Sati Devi. What did he say? Let us hear. जोरी पानी प्रभु कीन्ह प्रणाम पिता समेत लीन्ह निज नामा जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय रघुपति राघव राजा राम जय
रघुपति राघव राजा राम
कहे बहोरे कहा वृष के तु विपिन के रहो के हेतु जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय रघुपति राघव राजा राम जय रघुपति राघव राजा राम जय रघुपति राघव Prabhu Shri Ram started to speak in a very gentle way. He said, Jori Pani Prabhu Kinha Pranama. First, Jori Pani. Jori Pani put his hands together like this and he did pranam. He performed obeisance to Sati Devi because he knew who she was. He knew who she was. Pita Samet Linha Nijanama. And he declared the name of his father and his own name. He introduced himself to Sati Devi. Kahayu Bahori Kaha Brishiketu. Then he asked, where is Lord Shiva? Boli Shri Ramachandra ki Jai. Sati Devi sitting in the form of Sita Mata. And there, Prabhu Shri Ram comes, Jori Pani. Where is Lord Shiva? Where is Lord Shiva? Now, Kachi, no blood. No blood now. And devotees, he says, Bipina Keli Pirahu Kehi Hetu. How come Lord Shiva leave you to go in this woods, this forest all by yourself? All by yourself? Where is he? Where is he? Devotees, what happened? Let us hear in Doha. बचन मृदु गोर सुनी उपजाति संकोच उपजाति संकोच सती सभीत महेश पहे चली हृदय भर सोचु सियापति रामचंद्र जी की जय शरण। राम बचन मृद गुर सुनी उपजा अति संकोचु। Devotees, Sati Devi became extremely uncomfortable when she heard these words of Prabhu Sri Ram. She became very uncomfortable, even though Sri Ram was speaking very nicely. You ever hear the saying, walk softly, but carry a big stick? The words of Sri Ram was very profound because he saw through the disguise. He saw through that disguise that Sati Devi had put forth. Because she thought that she could have fooled him. She thought that she could have fooled him. And when we get caught in the act of deception, devotees, we get caught in the act of deception, then she felt very uncomfortable. You know, when you get caught in a little lie. You tell a little lie and you get caught. How does it feel? Stomach just started churning a little bit. What has happened? Right? You feel uncomfortable because you know you get caught doing the wrong thing. Right? You know, you're going down the road and you're breaking some speed on the road and you spot the cop car. Now you're frightened now. You're frightened now. I wonder if he see me. I wonder if he catch me. Right? But if you wasn't speed in the first place, right, Akshar? If you wasn't speed in the first place, you wouldn't be scared. You wouldn't be scared. You'll welcome the sign of the cop car because, yes, he's there to protect. There to keep the road safe. Not saying, you know, that he's there to catch me. So, Sati Devi, she started to feel very uncomfortable, even though Prabhu Sri Ram was speaking such a beautiful way to her. He was speaking so beautifully, but she felt very uncomfortable. Gentle yet strong words of Prabhu Sri Ram, devotees. Sati sabhita mahesha pahi. She turned in the direction where she left Shiv Shankar Bhagwan. She turned in that direction, devotees, and with amazement now, because she realized that he was correct. He was right. But in her heart, Chali Hriday Bar Sochu, right? In her heart, she was very much dejected. She was very dejected. She was very upset with herself. She was very unhappy with herself. And devotee's life is all about checks and rechecks in ourselves, in our activities. Not everything that we do will be perfect. Anyone is perfect? No, we are not perfect. But we strive to be, isn't it? We strive to be the best that we can be every day, or we should. We should be the best that we can be every day. And in every system, any system that has to work properly, there must be some form of feedback. There must be some form of feedback in order for that system to function properly. Right? If you keep doing something and it's going wrong and it's going wrong, but there's no feedback that tells you it's going wrong, then it will go into disaster. So what is the feedback system for us? What is our feedback system, devotees? It's called, long time ago, my dad had a kirtan group, a group that he used to run inside Avocat village. And the name of that was called Atma Vichar Kirtan Group. Remember that? Atma Vichar Kirtan Group. So what Atma Vichar means? Self-analysis, thinking about oneself. That's our feedback system. That we should be thinking about activities, and how does it impact on our lives on a daily basis? On a daily basis, right? How many times you all have heard me say this? Nathan? You remember when you got christened? You remember that day when you got christened? And I told you what you should do? You should keep a journal of your days, isn't it? Right? Samantha, I told the same thing. So I tell all the Shishyas when they get christened, you should keep a journal of your day. And simple, just rule it up 2 columns. One is good, one is bad. And at the end of the day, you should sit and analyze your day. What was good about my day? What was bad about my day? What did I do that was good? What did I do that was bad? And you jot it down. Right? And why am I saying to jot it down? Because our memories are very fallible. Right? We tend to forget, especially the things that we do that is not correct. We tend to forget those things. But if we put it down, devotees, we write it down, and you look back after some days, then you will start to see some patterns that are emerging. And you'll realize, okay, these are my strong points. These are my negative points. How can I work? How can I make my strong points better? How can I improve my negative points? It's a very powerful tool. A very powerful concept that we can all implement. It takes a little bit of time. But you know, instead of doing some other activity before bed, you know, of course we do our job and so on. But instead of doing something else, we can take that time, 10, 15 minutes, and analyze our day. As a very, very productive use of our time. Devotees, you know, this katha goes on further, right? But I wouldn't go on any further tonight because, you know, after a long time, Pandit Harinarayan has visited our mandir. So it's important that we also gain some knowledge, some wisdom coming from him as well. You all listen to me all the time, right? It'll be a similar message, but a different voice, right? And sometimes that makes a difference in our lives. So I'd like to ask him to say a few words to you all today before we get into our final arti and closing prayer.
Prem se bole Shri Raja Ramachandra ki jai. So devotees, a wonderful discourse on good qualities and not so good qualities. And this is what our scriptures tell us, you know, we are nar, we are man. And man, nar, is the root word for Narayan and Narak. So when we live a virtuous life, Narayan is God, and we'll be taking ourselves up to God. And when we live a not so virtuous life, a life of deception, a life that hurts people, creates problems, we take ourselves to Narak, the hellish regions. So we are Nar, and we can decide if we want to go up, we want to go down, or remain in the cycle of birth and death as human beings. As Panditji said, the 3 gunas, the Satogun, the Sattvic qualities, they take us up. The Rajasic qualities, the qualities of emotions, keep us in the cycle of birth and death as human beings. And the Tamasic qualities takes us down into the lower regions, where we can take births as lower forms, and we'll suffer due to our life, the actions, our karma. So, as Panditji said, I will always agree with that. Let us live a virtuous life. We are not perfect, we will make mistakes, but we should try our best to be climbing the ladder towards God. This human body is said to be the doorway towards God. Even the devatas wish they had this human body, because we want this human form, because this is the only form that can take us to God, take us out of this world of birth and death, so we can become one with God. And to do that, we have to live a life according to dharma, a virtuous life, performing our duties without looking for rewards, without looking for anything else. Perform your duties selflessly, and you become free from karma, and you become one with God. This human form is that vehicle. So today, I'm here. I'm very happy that I came in last night, yesterday. And when I passed to visit my brother, they told me satsang is going on in the mandir. And tonight was the only night I had some time, so I said, I made some arrangement, and I said, let me pick them up and let's come together. So I can't come tomorrow, I can't come Sunday morning because of different activities. So I made some arrangement because I enjoy being in satsang. Because satsang is what helps us to elevate. And hearing the discourses and being in the company of the virtuous ones is what we should try practicing. That's what's going to elevate us. And this is the type of environment we should encourage, not for only ourselves, our children, and everyone else, because we all need to create that peace and happiness for ourselves, our families, our communities. So being here, I'm very blessed. And my elder brother, he was our instrument. He's the eldest brother, I should say. He was the instrument in all of us becoming pundits, all the brothers. He was our guide. He was our second father. He was everything to us. And he put us on the right pathway. And seeing his children, his grandchildren following that same pathway, we are very happy. So and we're always grateful to Panditji, because he's the one who put our whole family, made all of us and guide us and taught us to become pundits. So I'm very blessed to be close to him. So anytime I'm here, that's the first person I'll visit, because he's the guide who put us here. So I want to say I'm very happy to be in his company, to listen to his son, Pandit Vijay, discoursing and continuing the pathway of dharma. Boliye Shri Satya Sanatan Dharma Ki Jai.
Very, very profound, short, sweet, but impactful words that we hear. And, we should all listen, as Pandit Harinarayan said, that satsang is important. Satsang is important. Binu satsanga viveka na hoi. Without satsang, no vivek comes. No power of discrimination comes to us. Right? And what is satsang? Not only to sit in the mandir and listen to Ramayana or Bhagavad Gita. What is satsang? Devotees sitting down, discussing that which is truth. Trying to understand that which is truth. Today, we have Dean with us. I don't think anybody else named Dean here. And for those who don't know, Dean is celebrating his birthday. So what's a wonderful lesson that we have gotten today on your birthday. And, the greatest Sangha that we can have, the greatest company that we can have is the company of Bhagwan. And those who associate with Bhagwan, so like-minded souls, all who come to the mandir, right? We all come to take part in satsang, isn't it? We come because we have a desire to listen. We have a desire to become better, right? We didn't just come here to show our face, right? We didn't just come to show our face and say, oh, Panditji, I was here. No. That should not be the idea. It should be, I'm coming to the mandir, I'm coming to receive. I'm coming to receive teachings. I'm coming to receive guidance. Each and every time that we come. Whatever the katha is, you feel that, the Panditji is speaking to you directly and you only. So, Dean, on your birthday, the guidance that we are given is, in this age of Kali Yuga, to chant the name of Prabhu. Chant the name of Prabhu. Because in chanting the name of Prabhu, devotees, we experience the sweetness or the ras, that happiness that comes from chanting His name. आ जाते हैं राम कोई बुला के देख ले. That you call the Lord and see. Call him with faith. Call him with love. And see if he's going to come. Don't just say the name just like that. But call him with love and see if he comes. राम नाम अति मीठा है. राम नाम अति मीठा है. कोई गा के देख ले. राम नाम अति मीठा है. कोई गा के देख ले. आ जाते हैं राम कोई बुला के देख ले. राम नाम अति मीठा है. कोई गा के देख ले. आ जाते हैं राम कोई बुला के देख ले.
राम नाम अति मीठा है.
Bhajan tells us, devotees, that this mind that we have, the heart of our mind is Bhagwan ka mandir. The mandir, the temple, the shrine of Bhagwan, devotees. Yaha mail na aane dena, that we should not allow wrong type of thoughts, negative things into our mind, devotees. मन भगवान का मंदिर है, यहाँ मैलन आने देना. ही राजन मन मोल मिला, इस दर से गवा न देना. मन भगवान का मंदिर है, यहाँ मैलन आने देना. ही राजन मन मोल मिला, इस दर से गवा न देना. शीश दिए हरि मिलते हैं. What it says, शीश दिए हरि मिलते हैं. It says that we should bow heads before Prabhu, bow heads before the Lord, devotees. शीश दिए हरि मिलते हैं, लोटा के देख ले. शीश दिए हरि मिलते हैं, लोटा के देख ले. आ जाते हैं राम कोई बुला के देख ले. राम नाम अति मीठा है, कोई गा के देख ले. आ जाते हैं राम कोई बुला के देख ले. राम नाम अति मीठा है. इस घर में अंधकार, वहाँ मेहमान कहाँ से आए. जिस मन में अभिमान, वहाँ भगवान कहाँ से आए. इस घर में अंधकार, वहाँ मेहमान कहाँ से आए. जिस मन में अभिमान, वहाँ भगवान कहाँ से आए. राम नाम की ज्योत हृदय, राम नाम की ज्योत हृदय जला के देख ले. आ जाते हैं राम कोई बुला के देख ले. राम नाम अति मीठा है, कोई गा के देख ले. आ जाते हैं राम कोई
बुला के देख ले.
What the bhajan is telling us, devotees, Ram naam ati meetha hai. That the name of Sri Ram is ati meetha. Not just meetha, not just sweet, but very, very sweet, devotees. But what has to happen, devotees? You can have the sweetest gulab jamun, the sweetest rasgulla, sit down there. But if you taste it, you will never know how sweet it is. Koi ga ke dekh le. So only when we call that name, then we will realize how sweet it is. So we can all try, right? All of us? Yes? Yes? Nobody shaking their head. Everybody just watching. Yes? We can all try. Yes. सीताराम 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 कहिए हो. सीताराम सीताराम
सीताराम कहिए.
सीताराम 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 कहिए हो. सीताराम सीताराम
सीताराम कहिए.
सीताराम कहिए. सीताराम कहिए.
सीताराम कहिए. सीताराम कहिए.
सीताराम कहिए, सीताराम कहिए,
सीताराम कहिए, सीताराम कहिए।
जाहि विधि राखे राम, ताहि विधि रहिए हो, जाहि विधि राखे राम,
ताहि विधि रहिए।
सीताराम सीताराम, सीताराम कहिए, सीताराम सीताराम, सीताराम कहिए। बोली सियावर रामचंद्र की जय. I hope all of us enjoy some of that rasa tonight. All of us enjoy some of that nectar of chanting the name of Prabhu. So at this time, devotees, let us all stand as we take part in our final arti to end this evening's devotion, after which we'll do our closing prayer. Om. Lie back. Say that. See, Dia say session too long went out. So while they're fixing that, we can take a little opportunity to chant a little bit more, right? Bhaj man mere aathoya, Sriram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Bhaj man mere aathoya,
Sriram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
भज मन मेरे आठोया, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम.
भज मन मेरे आतोया, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम.
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 भज मन मेरे आठोया, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम. भज मन मेरे आठोया, श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम. श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम. श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम. बोली श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय. So Hema, are we ready? Om Sajam Chavarti Sanyuktam Vahaninayojitam Maya Deepam Grihan Devesh Trailokyam Timirapaham Arati Shri Ramayan Ji Ki Arati Shri Ramayan
जी की
Kirati Kalita Lalita Siyapi
आरति श्री रामायण
गावत ब्रह्मादिक मुनि नारद गावत
ब्रह्मादिक मुनि नारद
वाल्मीकि विज्ञान विशारद सुख सनकारी शेष और शारद सुख सनकारी शेष
और शारद
बरनी पवन सुत कीरति देवी
आरति श्री रामायण
गावत वेद पुराण अष्टदश गावत वेद
पुराण अष्टदश
गाहो शास्त्र सब ग्रंथन को रस
आरति श्री रामायण
मुनि जन धन संतन को सर्वस मुनि जन धन संतन को
सर्वस
सार अंश सम्मत सब ही के
आरति श्री रामायण
आरति श्री रामायण जी की आरति श्री रामायण
जी की
कीरति कलित ललित श्रीरति की
आरति श्री रामायण
गावत संतत शंभो भवानी गावत संतत शंभो
भवानी
और भक्त संभाव मुनि विज्ञानी
आरति श्री रामायण
व्यास आदि कवि बर्ज बखानी व्यास आदि कवि बर्ज
कहानी
कागद सुंदे गरुड़ के
आरति श्री रामायण
कलिमल हरने विषय रस फीकी कलिमल हरने
विषय रस पीकी
सुभग श्रृंगार मोती ज्योति के
आरति श्री रामायण
दलन रोग भव मोरे अमी की दलन रोग भव मोरे पाक मात सब विधि तुलसी की
आरति श्री रामायण
आरति श्री रामायण जी की आरति श्री रामायण
जी की
कीरति कलित ललित श्रीरति की जय श्री राम हरे प्रभु जय श्री राम हरे प्रभु जय श्री राम हरे. Whilst our principal devotee is completing the arti, we pay obeisance to that feet of Maryada Purushottam, which is compared in beauty to that Kamal pool, that lotus flower. Kamal Raghunandan, Kamal Raghunandan, Kamal Raghunandan, Kamal Raghunandan. बंदो चरण कमल रघुनंदन बंदो चरण कमल
रघुनंदन
बंदो चरण कमल रघुनंदन
बंदो शरण कमल रघुनंदन
जिनके कृपा सकल सुख संपत्ति, जिनके कृपा
सकल सुख संपत्ति,
जिनके कृपा सकल सुख संपत्ति,
जिनके कृपा सकल सुख संपत्ति,
पावत जन भक्तन उर चंदन, पावत जन भक्तन उर चंदन, बंदो चरण कमल रघुनंदन, बंदो चरण कमल
रघुनंदन।
अवधपुरी प्रभु नित्य विराजत, अवधपुरी
प्रभु नित्य विराजत,
जनक सुतायुत दुष्ट निकंदन, जनक सुतायुत
दुष्ट निकंदन,
बंदो चरण कमल रघुनंदन,
बंदो शरण कमल रघुनंदन,
बंदो चरण कमल रघुनंदन।
बंदो शरण कमल रघुनंदन।
तीन ताप और जन्म मरण भय, तीन ताप
और जन्म मरण भय,
तीन ताप और जन्म मरण भय, तीन ताप
और जन्म मरण भय,
दूर करत क्षण में जन रंजन, दूर करत क्षण में
जन रंजन,
बंधु चरण कमल रघुनंदन, बंधु चरण
कमल रघुनंदन,
बंधु चरण कमल रघुनंदन,
बंदो शरण कमल रघुनंदन,
बंधु चरण कमल रघुनंदन,
बंदो शरण कमल रघुनंदन,
कमल रघुनंदन, कमल रघुनंदन, कमल रघुनंदन, कमल रघुनंदन, बंदो चरण कमल रघुनंदन, बंदो चरण कमल रघुनंदन। बोली सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। Indeed, this has been very beautiful session, our sixth session of our Ramayan Yagna, and very blessed today again to have my Reverend Father joining with us for first time in person in this Yagna, and also my uncle Pandit Harinarayan, my Reverend Mother, and today being Dean's birthday. What a birthday gift you got, boy! It's wonderful, right? And seeing TJ as well, very nice. Nathan, Samantha, right? All of you joining with us this evening in our devotion, Rangi and his family. I've been seeing Stacy and Janita for most of the week. So all of you joining with us, it's brought a great amount of spiritual energy. After a long time, we saw Devi and Sami as well. So very nice to have all of you. Uncle Sahadev in the back, hiding. So all of you joining with us this evening, you know, has brought a great amount of joy and happiness, spiritual bliss. At this time, devotees, I ask that we clasp our hands, we close our eyes, we bow our heads, we focus our minds once more upon Maryada Purushottam Prabhu Sriram as we engage in our final prarthana. Harihi Om Mantrahinam Kriyahinam Bhaktihinam Janardanam Yat Pujitam Maya Devam Paripurnam Tadastu Me Om Avahanam Najanami Visarjanam Pujam Chaiva Najanami Kshamyatam Parameshwaram Tvameva Mata Shapita Tvameva Bandhu Shasaka Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityurma Amritam Gamaya. He Sarva Shaktiman Sachidananda Nirakar Nirvikar Sarvadhar Sarveshwar Sarva Vyapak Antaryami Ajar Amar Nitya Pavitra Shrishti Karta ko बारंबार नमस्कार है। हे परमात्मा, भविष्य वर्तमान दुखियों का कष्ट हरण करके सुबुद्धि को प्रकाश कर कि जिससे सबका मंगल होए। ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम। As we close this evening session, we pay special obeisance once more to the feet of Devi Mata. Today being Friday, we offer that humble petition, humble prarthana to her feet. Namo, Namo, Durge Sukkarani. Namo, Namo, two very powerful lines, devotees. Namo Namo Durge Sukkarni means that I bow to you again and again, O Mother, you who are the giver of all happiness. Namo Namo Ambe Dukharni. I bow to you again and again, O Mother, you who are the remover of difficulties, of suffering. Let us all use our voices, devotees. Let us all reach out to Devi Mata. Each and every one of us, by ourselves, we chant to Devi Mata. Namo Namo Durge Sukkarni. Namo Namo
Durge Sukkarni.
Namo Namo Ambe Dukharani. Namo Namo Ambe
Dukharani.
Jagadambe Maya Daya Karo Ma Jai Durge Ma Jagadambe Maya Daya Karo Ma Jai Durge Ma Jai Durge Ma. बोली श्री आदि शक्ति दुर्गा माता के जय। सियावर रामचंद्र के जय। उमापति महादेव की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। वृंदावन कृष्ण चंद्र की जय। उड़ीसा जगन्नाथ की जय। बोलो रे भाई सब संतन की जय। सियापति रामचंद्र की जय। बोलिए श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। जय जय सीताराम। प्रेम से आसन लीजिए। प्लीज हैव योर सीट्स, डिवोटीज। As I said, devotees, Yagna is quickly coming to a close. Tomorrow is the last night session, and Sunday morning we'll be doing our final session, Visarjan Puja and so on. So all of you are invited to join with us. As I said, whoever can make it into the mandir, we would love to have you in the mandir. You know, it's been a long time since we've had the opportunity to congregate like this, since 2019, right? So 3 years ago, our Ramayan Yagna was like this. 2020 it wasn't, 2021 it wasn't. So this year we have this opportunity. So as many of you that can make it out, we'll be happy to have you, join your energy with us here at the mandir. And, that invitation extends overseas too, right? So US and UK, Trinidad, everywhere. So if you could find a flight, you could come, right? So devotees, God's choices, grace and blessings to each of you. Remember, tomorrow is Sri Ganesh Chaturthi, so we'll be making offerings to Lord Ganesha tomorrow. So those of you who'd like to make offerings, tomorrow is Saturday, so most people not working. So if you could arrive by around 6:30, it will help us to get the offerings completed, and then some time for our discourse in the evening. So at least 6:30 you can arrive if you would like to make offerings to Lord Ganesha tomorrow. So once more, devotees, God's choices, grace and blessings until tomorrow evening at 7 p.m. Jai Jai Sitaram.